All right, ready to dive deep into some next-level health optimization? We're tackling Dave Asprey's Superhuman today.
And let me tell you, this is not your average health book.
No, not at all. This one's different.
We're talking hacking your biology, feeling younger.
Sharper, more energized, all that good stuff. Way more than you thought possible, right?
Exactly. Asprey's all about extending your health span.
Not just living longer.
Right, but those years when you're really thriving.
Feeling good.
And what gets me is how he takes this cutting-edge science and makes it practical.
Totally. It's like a user manual for your body. And you know what really struck me?
What's that?
How he breaks down aging, but like at the cellular
Oh,
level.
he goes deep,
Deep dive, right?
straight to those microscopic powerhouses in our cells.
Mitochondria, I've heard of those.
They're like tiny factories churning out the energy we need, but
There's always a but.
as we age, they decline, and that decline, that's where inflammation comes in.
Okay, so inflammation, not our friend.
Asprey calls it the root of those big health threats.
You're talking heart disease, diabetes.
Alzheimer's, cancer, the whole Grim Reaper crew.
He calls them the four killers, right?
Exactly, heavy hitters.
There's hope, right? We can fight back.
That's what Asprey says. By understanding how aging works, like at this microscopic level,
We can slow things down, boost our defenses.
it starts with what we eat. That's key.
Food as fuel makes sense, so what's the Asprey plan?
Ditch gluten. For starters, he's really against it.
Really? Even more than most grains.
He links it to inflammation in the gut, and that just, like,
A domino effect.
exactly triggers all these other health issues.
I knew gluten sensitivities were a thing, but this is like next level.
He's saying it ages you. And get this, he's even cautious about going full vegan long term.
Whoa, bold statement. All right, so what does a superhuman diet look like then?
Quality protein, first and foremost.
Okay, makes sense.
Healthy fats, especially those omega-3s.
Those are the good guys, right? What about omega-6s?
Inflammatory, he says, ditch those, especially from processed oils.
So it's not about cutting fat entirely, but choosing the right types.
Exactly. He's all about those good fats, avocados, olive oil,
And colorful veggies, grass-fed meats if you can swing it.
wild-caught fish, too. It's about giving your body the premium fuel it thrives on.
I like that. Premium fuel for a premium you.
Okay, but Asprey also gets into some, shall we say, unconventional strategies.
You thinking about fasting?
Fasting, yeah, he's a big proponent, right?
Huge. He talks about ketosis, where your body shifts from burning glucose for energy to burning fat.
Sounds intense.
It's about giving your body a break, a chance to reset.
Not starving yourself, but strategically switching fuel sources.
That's the idea. He's got intermittent fasting, cyclical ketosis, even this whole thing about bulletproof coffee.
Bulletproof coffee, isn't that coffee with butter in it?
Yeah, butter or MCT oil, Asprey swears by it.
Keeps your energy up while fasting.
Sharpens your mind, too, he says.
I've got to try that.
It's wild he takes this ancient practice like fasting.
And connects it to modern science. He bridges that gap, and speaking of bridging gaps, he doesn't stop at diet. He's big on sleep and light.
We all know we should sleep, but what's Asprey's take?
He links poor sleep to those four killers.
No way, really that serious.
He's saying it's that crucial for our health.
So what's the biggest culprit? What's messing with our sleep?
Blue light,
Blue light from our phones and laptops.
all the screens, especially at night.
But what makes blue light so bad? I mean, we're surrounded by it.
It messes with our melatonin production.
Melatonin, that's the sleep hormone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It tells our brains it's time for bed, but that blue light,
It's like we're telling our bodies it's still daytime.
your brain's confused. It throws everything off.
Our sleep-wake cycle, our hormones.
Even our blood sugar, our body's ability to repair itself.
So it's not just about feeling groggy, it's messing with our long-term health.
It sets the stage for those four killers down the line.
Okay, that's pretty alarming, so what do? We can't exactly live in a cave and avoid all screens.
No, Asprey gets that. He's all about practical solutions. He recommends blue light blockers on your devices.
Like those blue light blocking glasses, do those actually work?
He says they can be really effective. They filter out that blue light, let your body produce melatonin naturally.
Interesting.
He also suggests switching to red light bulbs at night and getting enough sunlight during the day.
Makes sense, balance it out.
And he's big into red light therapy.
Red light therapy, I've heard that thrown around. What is that exactly?
It's like working on a cellular level, stimulating something called ATP.
ATP, refresh my memory. What is that again?
It's the energy currency of our cells, and red light therapy can boost it.
Give your cells that extra pep in their step.
And it's good for your skin, too. Boosts collagen production.
So it's like a 2-for-1 deal. More energy, a youthful glow. Sign me up.
Right. You can find those devices online, even at some spas now, but even small changes help.
Like what? Give us the easy wins.
Dimming the lights at night, getting some sun first thing in the morning.
Simple. I like it.
It's about being mindful of how light impacts our bodies, you know?
Totally. Like everything else, it's about awareness. And speaking of awareness, this leads us to another area Asprey wants us to be more aware of, heavy metal toxicity. Heavy metal toxicity. Okay, that sounds a little hardcore, even for Asprey. Is this something we should actually be concerned about day to day?
Asprey seems to think so. He says it's way more common than we realize.
Really?
He's talking about constant exposure, heavy metals like mercury, lead.
Lead? Like, isn't that the stuff they used to put in paint?
The very same. And arsenic, too. It's in our food, our water.
Hang on. Food, water, where else?
He even says things like dental fillings can have it.
No way, really? Dental fillings? That's unsettling.
And it builds up in our bodies over time. It's not like we just excrete it all.
Okay, so we're surrounded by these heavy metals. What are we supposed to do? It's not like we can just live in a bubble.
Asprey's all about being proactive. He says increase your antioxidants.
Antioxidants, right? Fight off those free radicals.
Exactly, but he specifically calls out glutathione.
Glutathione, now that rings a bell, vaguely. Remind me what that is again.
It's like your body's master detoxifier, Asprey calls it.
Detoxifier, so it like grabs those heavy metals and kicks them out.
Pretty much it binds to them and helps flush them out.
Okay, glutathione, got it. So how do we get more of this stuff? Is it like a special supplement or something?
Our bodies actually make it naturally, but
Well, you can give it a boost, right?
that's the idea. Certain foods can help.
All right, hit me with your best superfoods. What should I be stocking up on?
Cruciferous veggies are your friend here.
Cruciferous, that's like broccoli.
Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, the whole gang's here.
I knew those are good for something.
Avocados, asparagus, spinach, those are all good too.
So basically, eat your greens. Got it. What about supplements, though? Anything I can take directly?
Asprey is a fan of those too. He likes activated charcoal.
Activated charcoal, isn't that for like when your stomach's upset?
It can help with that, but it also binds to heavy metals in your gut.
So it stops them before they get into your system.
Exactly. And of course, good old-fashioned exercise.
Sweat it out, right?
Exactly. Nothing like a good sweat to flush out those toxins.
So it's like a multi-level approach, minimize exposure, support your body's natural processes, and then break a sweat every now and again.
That's the Asprey method. He gives you the tools, the knowledge.
But he also says to work with a doctor, right? Not just go DIYing everything.
Always consult with a professional, someone who knows your specific situation.
Because we're all different, what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you. And speaking of finding what works, let's talk about Asprey's sleep setup. He calls it his sleep sanctuary.
A sleep sanctuary. That sounds amazing. Tell me more. I'm always up for upgrading my sleep game.
Asprey's really big on the environment you sleep in.
Makes sense. I mean, our bedrooms should be our havens, right?
He's incredibly meticulous about his. Luckily for us, he shares all his secrets.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with your best sleep tips.
Blackout curtains are a must, he says.
Block out every last bit of light.
Exactly, and temperature is huge. Keep it cool, dark, quiet.
That's pretty standard sleep hygiene stuff, though, right? What about the biohacking, the next level stuff?
Oh, he's got plenty of that. Humidifier for optimal air quality.
Okay, I can see that.
Air purifier to get rid of those allergens and toxins.
Smart. I should probably invest in one of those.
And get this, he sleeps on a grounding mat.
A grounding mat. Like grounding, the thing we talked about earlier.
The one and only, it's like a conductive mat you put on your bed.
So it's like you're grounded even while you sleep.
He says it helps him sleep deeper, wake up feeling more refreshed, all that good stuff.
I've got to admit, I'm a little skeptical, but hey, I'm willing to try it. Who doesn't want better sleep?
It fits with his whole philosophy,
Yeah.
aligning with natural rhythms, you know.
Totally. And it's not just grounding. He's big on cold exposure, too. We talked about that earlier, the collagen boost.
Right, but he's talking about more than that. Ice baths, cold plunges.
Oh, I don't know about all of that. I'm more of a hot shower kind of person.
He says even ending your shower with the blast of cold water can make a difference.
What's his obsession with being cold all the time?
He claims it has all these benefits: improves circulation, strengthens your immune system,
Okay, I'm listening.
boosts your metabolism, even enhances mental clarity and focus.
All right, you've convinced me maybe those cold showers are worth a try. If it helps me think straight, I'm in.
He says start small, a few minutes of cold water at the end of your shower.
Baby steps to becoming superhuman. I like it. What about the opposite end of the spectrum, though? I thought he was into heat therapy, too.
He is. Saunas are his jam, especially infrared saunas.
No, that's more my speed. What's so special about infrared saunas?
They use far infrared heat, penetrates deeper into your tissues.
So you're getting a deeper heat.
Exactly. And you sweat more at a lower temperature.
So you get all the benefits without feeling like you're baking alive.
He says it's like a passive workout.
Passive workout. Sign me up.
Asprey says regular sauna use is linked to better circulation, stronger immune system, even a longer life, potentially.
Wow, between the grounding, the cold exposure, the saunas, it's like he's trying to reconnect us with the elements.
Harnessing their power, he'd say. And it makes sense. Our bodies evolved in nature, right? We're meant to be exposed to these things.
It's like we've created this artificial world that's missing with our natural rhythms.
Exactly. And Asprey's trying to bring us back into balance. And speaking of balance, he's also really into light therapy.
We talked about red light therapy earlier, but what other kinds are there?
Asprey's a big proponent of something called photobiomodulation.
Say that 5 times fast.
Photobiomodulation is basically using light to stimulate your cells.
Photobiomodulation. Okay, yeah, that's a mouthful. So using light to stimulate your cells, what does that look like in practice? Like, are we talking sunbathing here or something more high-tech?
Asprey's all about that high tech. He talks about low-level laser therapy, or LLLT.
LLT, all right, you lost me. It's not like laser shooting out of my phone now, is it?
Not quite, though that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It involves using specific wavelengths of light to actually stimulate healing in the body.
Lasers that heal? Okay, now this is straight out of Star Trek. How does that even work?
Remember those mitochondria we keep talking about? The powerhouses of the cells?
Yeah, they're like tiny batteries, right?
Exactly. Well, LLLT, it's like giving those batteries a supercharge.
So it boosts their energy. Makes sense. Those mitochondria are responsible for so much.
And with that boost, Asprey says we see less pain, less inflammation, faster healing, even potential for improving chronic conditions.
Wow, that's amazing. But is this LLMT something people can actually access now? Or is this like experimental, futuristic stuff?
It's becoming more and more available. You can actually find LLL devices for home use now.
No way, really? Like, what, do you strap yourself into some kind of light bed?
It's not that intense.
Yeah.
There are handheld devices, mats, different options depending on what you're targeting.
Wow, so we can literally take cellular rejuvenation into our own hands? It's incredible how Asprey empowers you with this stuff. But he doesn't just stop at the physical, right? He's big on brain health too, isn't he?
Absolutely. He calls it neurohacking, basically finding ways to upgrade your brain.
Neurohacking? Okay, that sounds pretty intense. What kind of upgrades are we talking about?
Some are things we've already touched on, like sleep, managing stress, eating a brain-healthy diet, lots of those antioxidants and omega-3s we talked about.
Right, the good stuff. But it gets more high-tech than that, doesn't it?
He's really into nootropics.
Nootropics. Okay, I've heard that term thrown around. What are they again?
Think of them like supplements, but for your brain.
Brain supplements. Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of things are we talking about?
So are natural, like caffeine. We all know that one.
Caffeine, yep, that's my go-to nootropic right there.
There's also L-theanine. It's found naturally in green tea.
Green tea, got it. What about the synthetic stuff?
Racetams are a big one. They're synthetic compounds that some studies suggest can improve memory and focus.
So it's like giving your brain a little extra edge. I can see the appeal there. But are these nootropics safe? I mean, messing with your brain chemistry seems a little risky.
Asprey stresses doing your research, talking to your doctor, not just randomly taking things.
Right, safety first. Because what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly, and what works in one season of life might not work in another.
Good point. So it's about being informed, making smart choices, not just chasing the latest biohacking fad.
Exactly, it's your health, your journey. What other neurohacking techniques does he recommend?
Yeah, what else can we do to give our brains a boost?
He's a big advocate for meditation, mindfulness, that kind of thing.
Right, calming the mind, reducing stress.
He says it can really sharpen your focus, too.
Makes sense. It's like clearing out the mental clutter.
He also talks about binaural beats and neurofeedback, using sound and visual stimulation to actually influence your brainwave patterns.
Okay, now we're getting really futuristic. So, like, you're basically rewiring your brain with sound and light.
It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
Asprey's all about pushing those boundaries, exploring the cutting edge of what's possible.
It's pretty inspiring, honestly. He really makes you believe that we have more control over our health and our potential than we think.
That's the Asprey effect. He makes you want to take charge, become the CEO of your own biology.
Exactly, and that's what this whole superhuman concept is all about, right?
Absolutely. It's about understanding how your body works, having the tools to optimize it, and then going out and living your best life for as long as possible.
Well said. Well, listeners, we've covered a ton of ground today. From those tiny mitochondria to the vast potential of our brains, Asprey's Superhuman is packed with information and inspiration. It might just change the way you think about aging, health, and what you're truly capable of.
It's a lot to digest, but it's worth it. Start small, pick one thing that resonates with you, and see what happens. You might just surprise yourself.
That's great advice. That's all for this deep dive into Dave Asprey's Superhuman. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what you thought possible.